Hi guys, today's YouTube video is all about love. So a couple weeks ago, the Super Bowl was on and I was watching it, Go Chiefs. And I saw a commercial, I don't know what it was for, but it talked about the different kinds of love. So it got me thinking about doing a YouTube video on it, especially since Friday is Valentine's Day. So I want to talk about the different kinds of love and then also how you celebrate love in your relationships. So first, I just want to go through them. Agape love, which is unconditional love. Eros, which is romantic love. Philia, which is affectionate love or friendship love. Philasha, which is self-love. Hopefully I'm pronouncing these right. And storage, which is familiar love or like a love between a parent and child. Pragma, which is enduring love. Those are the 6 kinds of love that I want to talk about today. And so, again, I always like to look at things with how are we approaching things through the lens of love instead of through the lens of fear. Don Miguel Ruiz wrote a book called The Mastery of Love, which is one of my favorite books, where he goes through, there's one chapter in there where he talks about the track of love and the track of fear. And when we are in relationships in the track of love, we are, looking at things through the lens of kindness and compassion love is unconditional. Love is responsible. Love is, openness. And, I really like how he talks about going through when we're in relationships with love. And the difference is when we're in fear, when we go through fear, or when we step into relationships with fear, what we do is we're not kind. It's conditional. It's like we're going after the person, or we're angry, or we're jealous, or we kind of create a lot of conflict. So in these 2 examples of fear and love, he really talks about how can we start to approach things with more openness, which is love. And so what I say is, how do we look at things through the lens of love instead of the lens of fear or hurt? So when I heard this commercial talk about the different kinds of love, it got me thinking, oh, okay, so I'm going to do a YouTube video and talk about in each different kinds of this love, what can we do or how can we participate? So agape love, like I said, is unconditional. And unconditional love is that you, in my opinion, you love the person for who they are, and it's, there's no conditions. It's you love the person for who they are no matter what. And to me, that's, that could be a romantic partner, that could be a friendship, that could be your children, it could be your parents, it could be anybody. And agape love you can also hear about in different, religious context. It's the love that God has, or, people's belief that God has for us is unconditional love. So, when you love someone unconditionally, you accept them for who they are. So ask yourself, with those people that are in your life, how do you participate in agape love? And so just take some time to think about that. Eros is romantic love or passionate love. And so if you're in a relationship, how are you practicing or participating in romantic love? And these would be the things that I would say, how are you practicing intimacy? Remember my video before on intimacy, there's different kinds of intimacy. There's physical, there's sexual, there's emotional intimacy, there's intellectual, there's experiential, there's spiritual. So, to me, in passionate or romantic love, it's how are we practicing and participating in intimacy? How are we creating rituals of connection where we go and we nurture our relationship that we're in? And so take some time to talk to your partner about those things. And then the next kind of love is that friendship love. It's the philia love. And, in your friendships, how do you let your friends know how much you appreciate them, and how you really, not only appreciate, but you like having them in your life, and how they are being a good friend to you. So I would also say, how not only how are you being a good friend, but how are your friendships in your life? How helping you be who you're meant to become. So reach out this week and let them know that too. And then philasha, which is the self-love. According to the Greeks, this can be good and this can be not so good, self-love. So I'm going to talk about the good kind of self-love. Now, my other videos about self-love, I talk about all the different kinds of ways that you can love yourself. And so I just want to highlight, even this week, how, and not only this week, but every day, how are you participating in ways that you love yourself? And, that can be just remembering that you are enough, you are worthy, and you are of value, and giving yourself that affirmation every week. It could also be, reminding yourself that it's okay to make mistakes, and that making mistakes are part of life lessons. So stop beating yourself up and remember to be kind to yourself. And then the other kind of love, this Swaraj, this familiar love, and this is a love between a parent and a child. So for those of you out there that have children, how do you let your kids know that you love them? And, how do you tell them that every day? And how do you speak those, languages to your children? And one way, I'll just share an idea that I participate in with my kids. I let my kids know that I love them every day, but for Valentine's Day, from February 1st to February 14th, every day I leave a little heart with a note on what I love about them. So when they wake up in the morning, they open up their heart and they see the ways that their mom loves them. So that's an excellent way to let your kids know, and it's something fun to do. Pragma is enduring love, or to me, this is long-term love. And I'll just share another story. My parents just celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary, and we had a little party, and we talked about, being a witness to their love. And to me, enduring love, long-term love is understanding commitment. It's understanding that love is about forgiveness, and I would also say that's unconditional love as well. It's understanding that we're all human. It's the willingness to work through things. It's understanding in your relationship that passion wanes, and things aren't hot and heavy all the time in your relationship. So to me, enduring love is commitment. It's forgiveness. It's understanding that passion wanes, and it's still your responsibility to look at how you're working together with your partner, if it's romantic love, to bring back that passion. To me, enduring love is just, again, honoring that long-term commitment. So for those of you who have been together for a long time and really feel like you fit under this category of enduring love, what I would say is, in what ways do you honor your commitment to one another? And, maybe write out your vows, or if you're married, or, recreate your first date, or let your partner know how much you appreciate and love them. Or, the things that first attracted you to the beginning, when you first met and fell in love, and also what you still find attractive about them now. So, I would go through that. So those are really the six kinds of love that I talked about today. And again, with each kind, ask your partner, or ask your partner how you want to participate or practice love. Or with your kids, how do you communicate how much that you love them? With your friends, what do you appreciate about them? And in those long-term relationships, what do you view, or how do you still participate in practice and commitment? In your romantic relationships, how do you participate in practice and intimacy? So this week, as you're preparing for the holiday of Valentine's Day, if you celebrate, in what ways do you want to celebrate love? Whether it's with a romantic partner, whether it's self-love, in what ways can you be kind? Whether it's with your kids, how do you practice and speak the language of love? The other thing that I just want to highlight quickly is another good resource. Is the 5 Love Languages. It's a book that was written by Gary Chapman. I did a video on it before, and I'll put a link up there. But really, the 5 Love Languages is how you communicate and practice love, and how you keep filling your partner's love tank. And he also has written one for your parents and kids too. So I recommend that book as well. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you have fun speaking those languages of love. Take care.